It's amazing how simple life is actually. Mark Twain said the secret of getting ahead is getting started. Yet despite knowing this, why do so many people struggle to just take action? I'm Sanj and welcome to Master Your Mindset, Master Your Life. This is a podcast that helps you start to master your mindset in order to help you navigate life's challenges. And it also helps you to reach new heights so you can master your life. If you get something from this episode, please share it with someone who you think would benefit from hearing this. Also, I'd really appreciate it if you could leave me a rating or a review. Thanks. So today we're talking about why we know what we need to do in life, but we just don't do it. So as I said, Mark Twain said the secret of getting ahead is getting started. And it shows that the actual importance of taking that first step towards achieving your goal. It highlights that progress and success can only begin with action. It can only begin with action. It's so easy to get stuck in the planning stage or the dreaming phase and then feel overwhelmed about the whole journey ahead. But the quote reminds us that if you want to make any progress, the simplest thing you need to do is just to begin. And by taking that initial step, you will break the inertia that you set yourself, and you'll actually get yourself onto the path forward towards your objectives. Even small steps are crucial for moving forward to reach your goals. And the funny thing is, we all know that's exactly what we need to do. You know that if you want to get somewhere in life, you need to take the first step. If you want to reach your destination, there has to be some initial momentum. You need to put in a lot of energy at first to get started. But it's so easy to actually not take action in life. In fact, it's the easiest thing you can do. But not taking action is also one of the heaviest things that will weigh on you. It will give you regret. Regret is forever. And you'll always sit there wondering, what if? So taking action, it's not difficult. And we know that the negative impact the inaction actually has on your life. It can actually cause you to feel missed opportunities. You waiting, you not taking action ends up meaning that you waiting for things. You just will miss out on the opportunities that come around because you're sat there waiting. You're not taking action. You're not putting yourself in the position to actually seize these opportunities. Instead, you sit there and you're there wondering why everyone else around you is getting these opportunities, why everyone else around you seems to be lucky, but you're still stuck in the same place. The reason is because you're not taking the action because, again, I say it a lot because it's true. The fear of failure. We have actually made failure such a big thing. We've made it into this big, huge, ugly, scary monster, and it paralyzes us. It paralyzes you, and your fear of failing actually stops you from even getting started. Your fear of failing actually stops you from living the life you want. There's two definitions of the word fear. The first thing is forget everything and run, or the other one is face everything and rise. When you start to face everything and rise, that's when your life changes. Your fear of failure is one of the most significant barriers to achieving your goals. One of the other things is perfectionism. You wait for the perfect moment. You wait for the perfect time, for the perfect idea, for the most perfect bit of work you can do. You feel the conditions have to be ideal before doing everything. Perfection is the enemy of progress because you're sat there waiting for things to be perfect. So you miss out. You don't actually get started. You're stuck there. You're glued to the spot. Next thing is lack of motivation. You don't have a motive. You don't have clarity on what you want. The things you want to do don't excite you because you actually don't know what you're doing it for, why you're doing it. When you find out you've got a strong why, you will be motivated. You're doing it to live the ideal life, to be able to work maybe 12 hours a week and have as much time with your kids as possible, that will motivate you. Being motivated just for the fact you can get money and buy nice things, yeah, you may be a bit motivated for a while, but it isn't a strong why. The next thing is you feel overwhelmed. When you're overwhelmed by the size of the tasks in front of you, we make one mistake, which is to see everything as the whole rather than as small little steps. You don't climb from the bottom to the top of the staircase in one go. No, you take one step at a time and you get there. Is like you're sitting there looking at the whole staircase and thinking you've got to do it in one bound. No, you break it down, you take it in steps slowly, and you get towards your goal. You feeling overwhelmed actually can lead to mental fatigue because you're constantly thinking about what needs to be done, and when you're not taking action, you just start to feel burnt out by it. And also, when you're not taking action, another result of that is actually you reduce your self-esteem, because when you're continuously avoiding tasks, it can make you feel inadequate and lower your self-esteem. So how many of you actually relate to this? How many of you have sat there and said, things have got to be perfect. Oh, I'm worried. What happens if it doesn't work for me? Oh, you know what? I'm really not that interested. Oh, you know what? That is too much for me to handle. How many times have you told yourself one of those 4 excuses? And then the best thing is, this I absolutely love with coaching, the number of excuses I get for this is absolutely phenomenal. But we find ways, and you will find ways to procrastinate. If you don't want to do something, you don't want to get started because of any reason, you will find ways to be busy. How many times have you known you've got to say study and you end up tidying your whole room? How many times do you know you've got to say fix some stuff in the garage and you end up tidying the garage? How many times do you just add small things to your to-do list so you can actually just add them on just so you can tick them off, rather than looking at the big things that you actually need to get done? The reasons are amazing, but we create these ways. We create things like busy work. We engage in these low priority tasks which are easier to tackle. As I said, how many times have you cleaned your room just because you're avoiding studying? What about things like social media? Yeah, Facebook, Instagram, yeah, TikTok. Distractions like scrolling through your social media or binge watching shows. Common procrastination tool. Another one is perfectionism. You just convince yourself and you believe it with your whole heart, or you think you do, that you need more information, more preparation, more time before you can start. But deep down, you know that actually that's not the reason. You know that actually you're just coming up with an excuse. And then this is one of the other ones. Overcommitting. You start to take on more and more tasks so you can avoid focusing on the critical one. You will say to yourself, you know what, actually I need to do X, Y, Z. I need to say yes to this person. And you take on so much. You spread yourself so thin, you cannot focus on your critical task. But the problem is when you're doing this, you're actually leading yourself down a negative path. You're leading yourself to negativity, to that reduced self-esteem, to that mental fatigue, to the missed opportunities, to the increased stress. But actually, when you start taking action, that's when your life changes. You start to boost your confidence because each step you take, each step forward, builds your confidence. It reinforces your ability to tackle the tasks and challenges up ahead. Yeah. If doing nothing increases your stress, actually doing something reduces your stress because you're taking action, because you're actually not seeing this massive mountain in front of you. You're chipping away at it one little bit at a time. It reduces the pressure of those uncompleted tasks because you're doing them. You're closing those loops in your mind. And so that reduces your stress. It gives you a sense of achievement. How many times have you done something which you've been putting off for days, months, weeks, years? And all of a sudden, once that's complete, you feel amazing. You feel like you are king of the world, like you can achieve anything. When you complete tasks, it gives you a sense of accomplishment, a sense of progress. And then this leads to results, which then gives you a positive feedback loop. You get that dopamine hit, you're fulfilled, you're happy, you're motivated. And what that will then do is when you're doing these things, is you start to actually build up momentum. How many times have you started on one little task? Before you know it, it's 2 tasks under your belt, then 3, then 4, then 5. And before you know it, you've smashed through your to-do list. It's so simple. And honestly, we all know what we need to do, but it's just the fact that we convince ourselves that we've got other stuff that takes priority, that actually, you know what, it's not the perfect time, or oh no, what will people say if I fail, or oh, you know what, it feels too much for me. So if you want to start taking action, some simple things you can do. You can break down your tasks. As I said, don't look at it as a mountain. Look at it as some small hills which you can manage. To break it down into speed bumps to get you to your goal. It will reduce that overwhelm, and it will actually make you feel more in control of your life. Number 2, set specific goals. If you can set those specific goals and you can clearly define what you want to achieve, and then you set deadlines, it actually makes it so much easier for you to hit them. You're 42% more likely to achieve your goals, when you write them down. The third thing is to create a routine. This routine is self-discipline. Discipline equals freedom, because you're not sat there thinking, what do I do next? What do I do next? What do I do next? You don't waste your time just aimlessly wandering between different tasks. You've got yourself a goal, you've got yourself a routine. You know that when you wake up, you're meditating for 10 minutes. You know after that, you're doing 5 minutes of breath work, 5 minutes of journaling. You're going to do 15 minutes of reading. You're going to then go straight into the garden and do 15 minutes of exercise. You do that day in, day out. You don't need to think. Your day will start automatically. And then finally, get yourself an accountability partner. Because if you want to take action and you're struggling to do it by yourself, get someone to help you. Share your goals with a friend, with a mentor, with a coach, someone who will keep you accountable, someone who will kick your ass when you're not doing what you need to be doing. Get yourself someone who actually is there for you. If you are a guy and you want some help, I've got a Facebook group called Lads and Dads where we're building it up to hold each other accountable. We've got a monthly book club. We've got a monthly challenge. And if you want to join, drop me a DM. At the end of the day, you know what needs to be done. And you know that is taking the first step. Taking action is where the real change happens. That's how you're going to get somewhere. Reading, prepping, all of that stuff is great. But nothing beats that first step of action. But you need to make sure you overcome the barriers of fear, perfectionism, procrastination. Once you do that, you will transform your life. So what one action can you take today, no matter how small, to get you on the path to your goals? Because remember, taking consistent action, no matter how small, is a key to help you move forward, to help you change your mindset so you stop thinking about all the negative, all the things that could go wrong. Shift your mindset. Because remember, your mindset shapes your reality. When you master it, you'll master your life. As I always say, my mission is to make a positive impact on the world. I sincerely hope you can help me do this by liking, by subscribing, and by sharing this podcast with others. So until next time, keep seeking, keep growing, and keep mastering your mindset to master your life. Thank you.